Hey the French lovers, I am Jean-Baptiste, the most French name you ever heard. If you love the French language, if you love the culture and a bit of sarcasm, with me you are in the right place. I am here to help you learning more than the language itself. But, Paris ne s'est pas fait en un jour, mais je vais mettre du cœur à l'ouvrage. This is two expressions. Paris ne s'est pas fait en un jour. Paris ne s'est pas fait en un jour means Paris didn't make it in one day. Paris needed a long time to be able to be built like it is today. Mettre du cœur à l'ouvrage ou avoir du cœur à l'ouvrage means to put your heart and your efforts on it, like giving the most you can. In this video, I will talk about why I am doing it, what I am doing, and why learning French. But more importantly for you, how learning French. Some tips that I would like to give it to you. Why am I doing it? I started le Rendezvous Français because most people learn French from books, not from life. I wanted to create something that feels like a conversation, not an exam. I think without the culture, without the interest of what you are learning, because we are learning French for many reasons, not for the technicality of the language itself. So I would like to create a space for that you're learning a language, you're learning around it something interesting as well. The culture is mainly the most important, but there is many ways to think of that. So I do love mettre les pieds dans le plat, and I do love la curiosité est un joli défaut. Mettre les pieds dans le plat means to put your feet in the plate, for sure, but it means like to put your feet in the table or in your mouth in American English. I love this expression because we use it as well when you are doing something or saying something you are not expected to. It's not obviously negative what you're saying or doing, but really not expected. And you are pushing yourself in this situation. So that's why I do love this expression. La curiosité est un joli défaut. La curiosité est un joli défaut. The curiosity is a cute flaw. I do love those two phrases. That doesn't explain directly why am I doing it, because technically I just love language and cultures. And I would like to share mine because I think French isn't a hard language. It's not Chinese or Russian or even German. It's a bit tricky as well. There is some tricks to learn, and that's more likely what I want to give, because understanding French, comprehend French, is more likely around culture than about the technicality of the language. I want to share that basically. So now what I am doing. Here you will find real French. The way to help you to speak with confidence. There will be some culture, there will be as well shorts to make you smile while learning, because motivation is even as important as technicalities. That's what I believe. Therefore, first of all, we are here to mettre la main à la pâte. Mettre la main à la pâte. So it means to put your hand in the dough, which means we have to get our hand dirty, because we have to get into all the little thing that makes a language, not only the technicality of the language. So we have to put our hand everywhere. There is also something very important. It's a French proverb. On n'apprend pas à parler en restant muet. On n'apprend pas à parler en restant muet. We don't learn to speak by remaining mute. I think that one is great. When you start a language or not, from the beginning, as soon as possible, you have to speak it out loud. That's very important. You have to make it into yourself. That's a double process. Your pronunciation is getting better, and you are also better integrating the language into you, because you are experimenting in different ways, and speaking out is one of the way. Very important. And apprendre sans aimer, ce n'est pas apprendre. It's a quote from Victor Hugo. Apprendre sans aimer, ce n'est pas apprendre. Learning without love, it isn't learning, because you have to learn something you want, something you are really interested in. You should be interested by so many things in life, and you should pursue the one you love the most. So learning a language is great for that, because you can learn so many things around the language, which is related to culture most of the time. So I am here to share the language and the culture for you, to help you learning French, basically. And I would like to quote Paul Éluard as well. He said, "Il n'y a pas de hasard, il n'y a que des rendezvous." It's one of the reasons I choose the word rendezvous. Il n'y a pas de hasard, il n'y a que des rendezvous. Nothing is random, there is only rendezvous. So you don't learn a language for nothing, you don't learn for nothing, and you have to push yourself to learn it. So you also have to schedule it, and you have to meet as well. So that's why I do love the word of rendezvous. That's containing all I want to do. Why learning French? That's also a very important question for me. French isn't just a language, as I said, it's a way to think, to feel, to connect. As other languages, it opens doors to culture, humor, and a certain je ne sais quoi that we all love about. There is as well another quote that I do love about Marcel Proust. Le vrai voyage de découverte ne consiste pas à chercher de nouveaux paysages, mais à avoir de nouveaux yeux. Le vrai voyage de découverte ne consiste pas à chercher de nouveaux paysages, mais à avoir de nouveaux yeux. That's what I do believe. Languages, culture, when you are learning another one, you are putting new way of thinking, new eyes of your perspective, but you have also a different voice in another language. You don't speak exactly the same way. You don't react the same way. You don't interact exactly on the same way. You still have your personality, but there is some differences. And the discrepancies is the language and culture, which is different. So I would definitely advise you to get into it, to the language, to the culture, to let be transformed by it. And another thing, I would like to quote as well Émile Auguste Chartier. La culture, c'est ce qui demeure lorsque on a tout oublié. La culture, c'est ce qui demeure lorsqu'on a tout oublié. That's my point as well. A language, if you don't practice it, you lose it. That we all know. But what we don't lose is the comprehension of the culture, what the culture taught you in life. That's something you will keep always. So I think learning the language without the culture, too much missing. And there is so much reason to understand and to comprehend more than the language itself. That's really why I think learning a language, and especially French, is very important. Now, how learning French? Learning French through real-life example, humor, and stories is the best way to remember easily. That's what I do believe. If you can get fun when learning something, it will be so easy to record it for life. So, first of all, make fun, enjoy, and that's the most important. For me, there is two ways of learning, very simply. One is you pay someone to teach you. This way is the best way to learn quickly. But ça coûte les yeux de la tête. Ça coûte les yeux de la tête. It costs arms and legs, but we say the eyes of the head, because we believe it's the most important part of the body. It's very expensive, but it's very efficient. However, I do believe that self-taught, autodidact, is even better. It takes more time, but the journey through you making it is the most important. You can, of course, mix both, but I would like to focus on this one because it's also very rewarding. I will be happy to help you learning the language through my classes, for sure. But through the channel and other channels or different ways to learn French, I would definitely tell you that learning by yourself is so much more rewarding. When you're learning, il n'y a pas de fumée sans feu. Il n'y a pas de fumée sans feu. It means there is no smoke without fire. That means whatever the way you would like to learn, you will be learning. And as we are talking of the language, you will always be able to communicate somehow. You just need to push yourself. Especially for American, you must know smoking with fire is also a way of communication. So definitely you should be able to make it. just by doing it. I wouldn't advise to connaître sur les bouts des doigts or apprendre par cœur. To connaître sur les bouts des doigts or apprendre par cœur. I wouldn't advise to know everything up to the age of your fingers or to learn by heart. The reason isn't the most funny. If at the end you know everything by heart and that much, I would say, I am happy for you. But if it costs you too much to do so, you should make something different, something for you. The way you are able to learn, it should be focused for you. My goal is to make you speak French, not perfectly, but authentically. I want you to be able to speak naturally. Just remember, just think that way. C'est en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron. It's another French expression that I love. C'est en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron. It is by forging that one becomes a blacksmith. Very simple, very easy, but too much true. I will give you my tips on how to learn French, but I will explain what I believe on levels because I would like to give tips by the levels. So basically, A is level A1 and A2. It's a level to imitate and to memorize. That's the first stage. You should be starting listening easy songs, small dialogues, podcasts. You have to train your ear. Even if you don't understand everything, you just need to repeat things. You have to make it yours somehow. And after listening something, you have to repeat yourself as much as possible, but you must always having fun. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make it at first glance, for sure. You have to repeat with all the mistakes you can, and you just think one mistake and you correct it. And after doing one correction by one correction, it will be so much easier. And you don't need to focus on what is your gap. You just need to focus on what is your next step. You will make it someday. You don't have to worry about that. Simpler as always when you think with small goals by small goals. So when you hear and listen, you should write down as well 5 to 10 words every day, because I think half an hour every day is the best. You don't need to work that much. If you can only do 15 minutes, it's fine. But you should write 5 to 10 words every day to learn it. And when you are working on the memorization of your words, you should always speak out. Okay, if you are in the transportation, you have to mimic it in your head. But if you are at home, you should be speaking out loud. Every time you are reading something in French or you are listening something in French, just say it speaking out loud. You must train yourself to say it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to integrate the voice. You have to create your voice. That will be your next step, but you need to start from now. Now you just need to focus on imitation and to learn words and simple sentences, phrasal type that will help you to start. And from the beginning, you should start to find learners like you, or native if you get lucky, to start having small conversation. You can't have a conversation with a native anyway, but you can at least speak with other learners. That will help you. You will exchange tips on how to learn this, how to learn that, where you can find this information and that. And most you speak French in between you can help you to build the language together. So don't push yourself too much on the grammar, especially French grammar is not the most digest, it's not the most complicated, but there is a lot of exception, which is very tiring. So learn one grammar at a time, one exception at a time, and you will integrate it little by little. You don't need to focus on everything at once, just step by step, one word by one word, one phrasal by one phrasal, and one grammar by one grammar, and repeat it. Writing, listening, repeat to make your voice happen. And for B level is different. It's a level of production, of experimentation. You are able to create by speaking or by writing. So you need to develop that. What I would advise you, that's a simple trick that everyone knows, is to write every day 3 to 5 sentences. Like you can write down a journal or you can talk about whatever you want every day. You can use even AI to know what topics you should write down for 3 to 5 sentences. But the most important at this stage is just to write every day. Every day you try to make a sentence for 10 minutes a day, no more. As a matter of vocabulary, you should use all the words as possible. The old words you learned and the new words you are learning. And you have to experiment all the phrases you can. Of course, writing and speaking. So you have to make small conversation leading to real conversation as well. Even if it's guided by someone who has a higher level than you, or if you are finding a topic together, if you have a small level together, even if you don't have much to say, you are forcing your brain to create sentence while you speak, while you write. In that stage, you also have to start reading articles or books or movies or any videos that based on your level on interest, obviously. If you are interested in any subject and you can read or watch it in French, that's the best, because like this, you are learning a subject and while learning French. So, or you are enjoying a subject while learning French. It's a double win. There is obviously many subjects you'd like. There is obviously many things you can understand in French, more than you are expecting. Online, there is so many resources. You just need to spend time maybe to look for some, but as soon as you find your resources, then it's easy. In that stage, you have to find expressions and words you love, and you really have to own it. You must make fun of it and you have to share it with everyone. Why? Because like this, you are learning what you like and you are sharing what you like. So it's easy to talk with everyone. As we are easily shy when speaking a new language, so if you bring the things you like, it will be much easier to share. Because communication is not only the words and the technicality of the language, is your body language. Everything that can make your communication easily with a new language, you should take it. Everything that helps your body language, you should take it. Basically, that's the idea. Because communication is key when learning a new language. It's not only the culture. So if you can be understood somehow, just because of your body language, that's a win as well. And I would like to tell something for all level actually. Learning and love from your own mistakes. Your mistakes are absolutely beautiful. Why? Because it tells you what to learn, and even natives can make mistakes, so you can do mistakes as well. So this is two things important. You are allowed to make mistakes and you have to make fun of them. Why? Because you already know what is your next step of learning. Even if it's a redundant mistake, that means you have to find a way. So you still need to find a way. It might be annoying, but at the end, if you laugh at your mistake, it's kind of easier to not making it afterwards. Because your mistake is part of you anyway, and you have to accept it, and you have to enjoy your mistakes as well. I know it's weird, but that's the reason I was able to speak English. Because English is very hard for me for the pronunciation, as you can tell. You can hear my French from so far. And the only reason I can is because I always push myself with laughing with my mistakes. Every time I make a mistake, I know I will do other mistakes. I know I will make so many mistakes. So I'm just laughing at them and I'm just embracing them to make it easier to improve my skills of language afterwards. So now, the C level. The C level is a stage of consolidation to make nuances. So you need to make a diversification of reading and watching. You shouldn't read and watch only what you like, but other things as well. You have to develop your skills, your understanding, and maybe you will be able to learn something new that you didn't know you like anyway. So that will be always good to go further. In that stage, I wouldn't advise to write or speak every day. I will advise you maybe writing a book, or it could be a poem, or even a rap. It has to be complex. You shouldn't be simple now. You have to make it complex. You have to find words. You have to compile everything you learn on what you're still learning. So it's through that complexity and that understanding of new nuances that you will be able to develop your skills. So try to understand the choice of phrases or sentences to spot the nuances. You need to find the nuances between words and expression. There is always some emotion, some irony and jokes on it. So make fun of every word and everything you find, because it's into details that you can find very interesting things that you love. So the matter is you, the matter is the language, the matter is sharing afterwards. So whatever you find interesting, then you can share it with others. That is also very nice. So C-level is not just a talking, it's a debate as well. You have to be able to argue with someone. And it can be tricky because you have to adaptate with the one you're talking. You have to make sentences based on the response you have and so on. So debate is great. It's building your nuances and you can go even further. And as you want to learn French, it is the best for it. So have fun debate, have fun finding the nuances. Now you have to focus on what is difficult to make, what is difficult to understand. But as you have a higher level, you should make it as funnier as possible, as enjoyable as possible. That's the most important for your motivation. That's the key for everything anyway. So, if you're ready to speak real French and laugh about it on the way, subscribe and let's start le Rendezvous Français. See you, the French lovers!